All right, guys, welcome back. So our last chapter for the week, we're going to go over assessment of achievement. We're still kind of ahead, guys. As I pushed ahead last week, and we're pushing ahead this week, so we have that fifth week um, by itself, so we can actually provide that workshop on the assessment and writing up that clinical report, right? So we're still pushing ahead and whatnot. But I'm going to stop here this week on chapter 11, so we can make sure we get some more in-person education on the other chapters that we're going to be covering, right? But in chapter 11, we're covering assessment of achievement. So achievement is an individual's knowledge or skills in a particular content area, right? So what are your abilities and skill sets in a particular content area? Achievement tests demonstrate some level of knowledge or skill, right? So again, there's different types of assessment of achievement that helps you demonstrate some level of knowledge of a specific skill set that you have or a certain content area. So the standardized achievement test covered broad areas common to the U.S. and U.S. schools. And education is used to establish a student's present achievement level, monitor their achievement over a period of time, screen students for placement and selection decisions, um, identify a student's academic strengths and weaknesses, evaluate instructional objectives and programs, and assist with diagnosis of learning disabilities, and evaluating individuals for certification or licensure, right? So there have been several universal features, including in the standardized achievement test, including uniform administration and scoring procedures. For instance, the NCE. That's how we measure individuals' achievement tests in the area of counseling, right? And there's a uniform administration and scoring procedures for the NCE. There are also going to be sound psychometric properties showing that it's reliable and valid in measuring the content of whatever area we're discussing, and nationally representative norm groups. So again, comparing everybody to a specific norm group or whatnot is going to be a great way of providing results and interpretation of where a person falls at, right? So categories of achievement tests, right? We have, as you can see, we have achievement test batteries, individual achievement tests, diagnostic achievement tests, and subject area tests, right? And if you look at the top there, you see that we assess the current achievement level, the individually administered, the group administered, the track achievement, identity strengths and weaknesses, evaluate instructive objectives and programs, screen placements and decisions, assist with diagnosis and learning disabilities, and certification and licensure. So each one of these tests, if the X is marked there or whatnot, is what that actually is measuring for, right? So achievement test batteries, right? It says think broad, not deep, right? So again, there's a broad level of test, but not a deeper variety, right? Like you have the basic achievement skills inventory, right? The VAS 2, the Terra Nova third edition, the Terra Nova comprehensive test of basic skills, Iowa test of basic skills, Metropolitan achievement test, 8th edition, and the Stanford achievement test, the 10th edition. Here's an example of the Stanford achievement test, right? It's a norm reference standardized battery for tests designed to measure achievement from K to 12, where it measures reading, math, science, spelling, language, social studies, and listening, right? Again, you can see down at the bottom, it provides several types of scores: raw scores, standard scores, percentile ranks, stand grade equivalents, normal curve equivalent. So it's going to follow that normal bell curve, right? And performance categories. Here's an example of how individual score may present and look, right? As you can see, for each one of those areas, it has a possible score, a number correct, a score calculated, a national NCE, a national PR, a grade equivalent, and an AAC range, right? This really represents and gives an individual how they looked at each one of those different areas or whatnot and how they compare to others, right? So again, even at the side there, you see there's a national grade percentile bands there, right? So individual achievement tests. Again, it says think deep, not broad, right? There's a number of individual achievement tests that are available. We have the wide range achievement test, 4th edition, the basic achievement skills individual screener, the Peabody individual achievement test, the Wechsler's achievement individual achievement test, and the Woodcock Johnson 4 test of achievement. Okay. So there's some diagnostic tests that we want to look at. And the purpose of a diagnostic test is to identify an individual's academic strengths and weaknesses. So what are you strong at? What are you weak at? What do you need more to support in, right? Unlike achievement test batteries, the individual achievement test, diagnostic tests, how have a narrower focus, contain a larger number and a variety of items, and they take longer to administer. They are often used to identifying and diagnosing learning disabilities. So again, we use diagnostic tests to diagnose any learning disabilities or any areas of weakness that need to be accommodated to help an individual grow in those areas. So some examples of it are the key math 3 diagnostic assessment, the clinical evaluation of language fundamentals, and diagnostic assessments of reading, second edition. Subject area tests generally refers to standardized achievement tests that measure content area knowledge in specific academic or vocational subject areas. So again, subject area tests, again, we're going to look at specific subject areas where an individual may be struggling or may be gifted in, right? We want to measure their achievement in that area, right? They not only measure an individual's knowledge or skills in that area, but also predict how well an individual will do in the future. So it has the aptitude portion of it too as well. So examples of assessment that includes subject area tests include the SAT and the college level examination program, the CLIP. Adult achievement tests, often used in adult basic education programs and literacy settings. Examples include the general education development test, adult basic learning examination, the comprehensive adult student assessment, and test of adult basic education. So factors that may impair or affect student achievement, all right, are the rigor, which is the cognitive challenge that the student may have in the curriculum, teacher knowledge and skills, so how good the teacher is, how good the teacher performs, how well the teacher creates relationships and provides the information, right? Teacher experience and attendance, right? So how experienced the teacher is, how well the teacher is going to be consistent in being there and being present. Class size can play a huge role. As we know, large numbers of students in a classroom can create um, a little distance in relationship from teacher to student. Cause the teacher to have to focus more on the entire group and can't provide as much individual instruction. Technology, right? The level of technology that is used in some classrooms can definitely enhance learning, right? But the lack of some technologies today can definitely hurt students because again, technology is really utilized throughout our society. So the use of technology in the classroom is really prevalent. And school safety, again, how safe an individual feels in their school setting. If they don't feel safe, look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Can you really learn and grow if you don't feel safe in the classroom? So out of school factors that may impact student learning: low birth weight, lead poisoning, hunger and poor nutrition. Again, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If an individual hasn't eaten, they really care about learning. They have poor nutrition or really caring about learning. Reading to young children. Again, preparing children for kindergarten, preschool. Are they getting any types of education and learning at home from birth to 4 years old? Are they being prepared? Are they getting read to? Are they any learning content being delivered during those time spans? Amount of TV watching and actually the monitoring of TV watching. What are they watching? How are they watching? Are there any explanations to some of the things they're watching and seeing on TV? Right? Parental involvement. How involved the parent is. How much information the parent is providing to the child. I often tell parents when they're treating children and whatnot, you indirectly or directly play a role in that child's development. You control where they go to school, where they live at, what they eat, who they hang out with, what they watch. All those things you can influence, right? So parental involvement can be play a role in a lot of those factors we just talked about before we got to parental involvement. Home learning activities, positive social skills, and student mobility all can impact student achievement. That's going to be the end of chapter 11. That's going to close out our lectures for this weekend, guys. So you can see there's a discussion board, and the quiz should be fixed. The error in our quiz should be fixed for this week or whatnot. We had Ed Tech looking at our quizzes or whatnot because they had erased the content for the last quiz or whatnot. That's why I left that quiz open still or whatnot. It's still being fixed or whatnot. If you don't see that the quizzes are up and ready, I'll reopen those quizzes when the Ed Tech has resolved the issue, right? But if you see them open or whatnot, please go ahead and complete the quizzes or whatnot. Use the rest of the time for today's learning or whatnot to complete the discussion board and the quiz. And I look forward to us getting back in class when the weather permits us to. You guys shoot me an email, give me a call if you guys have any questions. Thanks.